Why is there a semi-nude photo of Hunter Biden passed out in a bathtub in the official White House website? Well, that's a question that I have, and I think most Americans should be asking themselves right now. And hi, welcome to another episode of At Least You Heard It Here. I'm your host, Alyse Adamson. And today, our topic is the trolling that is going on the official whitehouse.gov website. And in case you missed it, the Trump administration's team has made a little switcheroo with some of the official major timeline events on the website. And friends, this is easy for you to investigate on your own. All you have to do is go to whitehouse.gov, then navigate to the major events timeline. And this is a timeline about the major events of the White House itself, the building of the White House, structural changes, additions, renovations, which you would expect to see on the White House website because, of course, the White House itself is iconic. People from around the world travel just to see it. And so, of course, a slide deck of its history is incredibly interesting. And I would even say there are a lot of school children that do projects on the White House and come to the official website to get their information. However, if they're to navigate there today, what they're going to see is something more akin to Twitter trolling. So just navigate there, and let's start with the first entry, which of course is the design of the White House, 1791 to 1800. Perfectly appropriate. You scroll. The next is about the reconstruction of the White House after it was burned down in the War of 1812. All very normal historical slides on the structural history of the White House. We have the addition of the West Wing in 1902, the Rose Garden, addition of a briefing room in 1973. And then apparently nothing happens for over 20 years. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't renovated, but we won't know because that's not the point, like disseminated actual information. The next slide is from 1998, and it is simply titled Bill Clinton Scandal. Now, if you're scratching your head about how a sex scandal has anything to do with structural changes of the White House, you're not alone. But again, that's because it's the point. It's not about the White House. This is where the administration has slipped in their trolling. This slide reads, President Bill Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky was exposed, leading to the White House perjury investigations, the Oval Office tryst fueled impeachment for obstruction. So I guess it's the fact that they highlighted that some of the affair allegedly happened in the Oval Office, that it's related to the White House. But we know it's not. It's absolutely absurd. Okay? So now scrolling to the next slide. Now, all of a sudden, 2012, during the presidency of Barack Obama. And what have they chosen to troll? Oh, it's the Muslim Brotherhood visit, where the slide indicates that President Obama, they write Obama, it's President Obama, just lack of respect all around, hosts members of the Muslim Brotherhood, a group that promotes Islamic extremism. And of course, they're using a photo, not from the Oval Office, but of President Barack Obama dressed in ethnic clothing. Again, if they take exception, I'm not even all that clear about this particular visit, but they've used a very deceptive photo, and it also has absolutely nothing to do with the structure of the White House. Okay, then we go to 2020. This is when President Trump was in office. So innocuous, back to the intention of the slide deck. But again, this is the point, because all of this trolling is just meant to shock and anger. Right? It's not actually made to make any sense. It's the tennis pavilion edition in 2020. But then the next slide after that is a picture of Hunter Biden, nude from the waist up. We don't know what's going on in that tub, with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and, by all appearances, passed out. And under this picture, it just has the headline, Cocaine Discovered. And what the summary says is about when a zippered plastic bag containing cocaine was found in the West Wing entrance lobby. Now, very important to note, folks, that there was never any connection to Hunter Biden. That was the talking point. That was a conspiracy because Hunter Biden was a known former cocaine addict. Now, Hunter Biden says he's clean. I mean, that's what he said. But there was never any evidence that this tiny pack of cocaine actually belonged to Hunter Biden. And we also know a lot of people struggle with cocaine addiction. Even if you don't look like a disheveled addict, does not mean that you are not struggling with your own demons. And a lot of people are. So this whole narrative about it must belong to Hunter Biden is completely disingenuous, flies in the face of actual drug addiction statistics, and it's just wrong. And this particular slide is just meant to demean and humiliate Hunter Biden and the Biden family. This is probably one of the most demeaning photos they found in the entire Hunter Biden investigation. And again, it's shocking that it is on an official White House website. It doesn't belong here. I don't care if you're a Donald Trump supporter. I don't care if you dislike Hunter Biden. And if you are familiar with any of my content, you know I'm not a Hunter Biden apologist. I actually think he should be doing jail time for his tax evasion. This is not about forgiving Hunter Biden or advocating for Hunter Biden. This is about demeaning the United States by purposefully uploading a humiliating picture of the son of a political rival. Okay, and so obviously it's put here for the left to get upset and for the MAGA base to cheer. They think this trolling is funny, or some of them. I'm not going to put everyone in the same category because I understand MAGA is not a monolith. But that being said, what message is this sending to other countries, to foreign countries, to our adversaries? Because up to this point, America is the gold standard. America is the most powerful country in the world. We set the tone. We are the most credible. That is the viewpoint. We garner respect from our neighbors, from people overseas. Even our enemies know they need to put some spec on our name. But this is just emblematic of what is happening now in the United States, which is we are becoming an incredibly unserious nation in our just unquenchable thirst of retribution and humiliation, and now normalization of name calling and just absolutely juvenile rhetoric. What we're doing is we're undermining our own position in the world, okay? We have free speech here. If you, Trump administration or surrogates, want to make fun of Hunter Biden, you have TikTok for that. You have Instagram for that. You have social media platforms. You got Reddit. You have X, Twitter. That's where this kind of stuff belongs. Where it does not belong is on a taxpayer-funded official website with the world watching. I mentioned student projects before. There are student projects about the United States around the world. Imagine if young students are researching the history of the structure of the White House and they start to see this nonsense, right? Now, some people say, no, that's the point. They need to know about what the Dems do. No, they don't, because it looks silly. We are losing the narrative. We, in our just vicious juvenile infighting, are completely losing the narrative. And that is that America is the grown-up, right? We're the ones that go in and we police the world. We were supposed to be leading with diplomacy. How can we be taken seriously if we're acting like somebody's 13-year-old brother? It's absurd. And then if you go to the next one after Hunter Biden, because we know the Trump administration really, really hates Biden. The next is Trans Day of Visibility, which is just very clearly a knock on transgender individuals, because who cares if they had like some day on transgender visibility, unless you think that just transgender issues all around are just plain wrong. And of course, this is a photo of Joe Biden. And then it looks like a picture of, I don't know if she's a transgender individual, looks like just it's a person to me. I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions. Could be because it's a Trans Day of Visibility, and this person isn't wearing a top. So it's meant to shock. It's meant to be as inappropriate as it appears. And they've spliced a picture of Biden next to this individual, even though they're not in the same frame. These are two pictures put side by side. So it's very deceptive. We don't have any context for this photo whatsoever. But we do know that a lot of people on the MAGA right, just do not believe in transgender rights at all. They don't believe in transgender issues at all. So it appears that, the inclusion of this particular photo, because it's not even in the White House at this point, right? Like the other arguments was that this stuff was taking place in the White House. This looks like it was on the White House lawn. It's just to throw red meat at the base and to humiliate former President Joe Biden and to take a complete swipe at transgender issues, which of course, again, that is a platform that you can run on when you are seeking office. Those are talking points. Those do not belong in the official major events slide deck of the White House. And then it goes to 2025 and we're back to serious territory. North and South flagpoles, Rose Garden renovation. So what this is doing is also communicating that while the Republicans are in office, or at least Donald Trump, because plenty of Democrats were in office during the other major events timeline, which so far have not had any other ridiculous additions. But then when Democrats control the White House, Biden, Obama, look at these ridiculous things that happened, which of course, it's imagery that is really meant to shock. It's those photos that are included, which, as I explained, are incredibly deceptive. The narratives almost don't matter. So I want to know how you feel about this. And I especially want to know how MAGA feels about this, because again, it's the one thing to take exception or to even have conspiracy theories about some of these events that have now been added. But are you not upset that trolling is being funded by your tax dollars, that this type of unseriousness is being added on to an official website? Are you not concerned how we appear to the world? There should be a place where all we do is serious business. And that place should be the United States government. It should be official United States government sites. It should be anything that is being bankrolled by the American people and is reflecting who America is. So some may argue that this troll is a reflection of who America is. That's not how I want my America. I don't know. Maybe that's how you want yours. Go ahead, tell me, drop me a comment. And as always, if you like what you heard, go ahead and click like, subscribe, and be sure to tell folks, at least you heard it here.